Chapter 1, The Pale Hunters. The wind howled across the frozen expanse, carrying with it a bitter cold that gnawed at flesh and bone. Tasha huddled closer to the fire, her fur-lined cloak barely enough to shield her from the relentless chill. Around her, the others sat in silence, their pale faces flickering in the firelight, eyes hollowed by hunger and the weight of survival. The night was dark, the stars obscured by swirling snow, and yet Tasha felt an inexplicable warmth deep within, a stirring she could not yet name. The elders had gathered near the edge of the camp, their voices low and urgent. Even without hearing their words, Tasha knew the topic of their discussion. The herds were disappearing. Mammoths, once plentiful and predictable in their migrations, were vanishing. Reindeer herds grew sparse, their trails fainter with each passing year. For a people who had survived for generations on these icy plains, the prospect of losing their lifeline was unthinkable. Tasha's grandmother, Nima, was among the elders. Her face, lined with age and wisdom, turned toward Tasha briefly, her gaze piercing. Nima had always believed in her granddaughter's gift, the visions, the dreams, the way she spoke of the ancestors as if they whispered directly to her. But Tasha could feel the doubt in the camp growing stronger. A young shaman could only offer so much hope when food was scarce and death felt closer with each day. They are pale as spirits now. One of the hunters had muttered the night before, his voice laced with fear. The sun has forgotten us. Tasha had heard the whispers all her life. The stories of how their people had once been dark as the earth itself, their skin kissed by a sun they no longer saw. The pale color that now defined them was both a curse and a mark of survival, an adaptation to a land where light barely touched the ground. But to many in the tribe, it was a sign that they had strayed too far from the land of their ancestors. Tasha. Her grandmother's voice broke through the quiet, calling her to the council. The elders parted as she approached, their expressions wary but expectant. What did you see in your dreams? Nima asked, her voice steady despite the biting wind. Tasha hesitated. She had not yet spoken of the vision that had haunted her for weeks, a vision so vivid it felt like a memory. She closed her eyes, letting the images return to her, a golden sun blazing in an endless sky, its heat so intense it felt alive. Rivers teeming with fish, vast plains dotted with animals she couldn't name. And people, her people, dark-skinned and radiant, standing tall beneath the sun's embrace. It is the land of our ancestors. She said at last, her voice trembling but firm. They are calling us back. The elders exchanged glances, skepticism mingling with the faintest flicker of hope. The land of our ancestors lies beyond the ice. One of the hunters scoffed. Do you know what that means, child? How far we would have to travel? I don't. Tasha admitted. But the ancestors do. They have shown me the path. Nima nodded slowly, her expression unreadable. The ice is melting. She said. The world is changing, and we cannot stay here forever. Perhaps, it is time to listen to the whispers of the ancestors. Her words carried weight, but they also carried risk. A migration southward would mean abandoning everything they knew. It would mean crossing frozen rivers, endless plains, and, if the old stories were true, a great desert filled with death. Few believed such a journey was possible, but Tasha knew she couldn't ignore her vision. That night, as the camp settled into uneasy sleep, Tasha sat by the dying fire, staring into its embers. The warmth she had felt earlier returned, stronger now, like a promise whispered just beyond her hearing. She closed her eyes and let the fire's glow envelop her, and for the first time, she heard the words clearly. Home. The voice said. The land of the sun. It is waiting. When she opened her eyes, Tasha knew what she had to do. She would lead them, even if it meant walking through ice and fire. The ancestors had called her, and she would answer.